have these two guests because we're going to have a lively conversation about what's actually blocking AI in hospitality today. So with me, I have Ira Vouk and Hanna Schiller. Would you please just introduce yourselves briefly before we kick off?
Sure. Hanna, you go first.
Oh, it's
more important.
You to go first. No. Okay, I'll kick off. My name's Hanna Schiller. I'm the VP of Sales at I Reckon You. Been with the company for almost 10 years.
Oh,
That's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
I didn't know the company was that old.
It is.
News, breaking news.
News, okay. Yes, so, and I'm Ira Vouk, irrevocable. That's easy to remember. Because a lot of people call me Ira. I don't know what I am though. I've done so many different things for the industry. I'm the founder of AI Hospitality Alliance. I think I'm more of an educator than anything else. And I've done some work around technology, AI recently, revenue and profit optimization, published some books, consulting. But the new project is the alliance that allows is trying to help our industry to get organized around our efforts to shape AI and where all of this is going, and to try to figure out how to navigate this complex path.
I love how you just throw out just a couple of books.
I know.
They're very important books. And that's actually why we came together on this LinkedIn Live, because I'm reading your book. Aww. I saw you mentioned I Reckon You. I'm collaborating with I Reckon You. I was like, oh, we need to get talking about this. And super looking forward to your conference. So everybody watch LinkedIn for information about that. But let's dive back into our topic today. So we want to know, why have we got so much AI technology in our industry? We're hearing about it all over the place. Every conference, every LinkedIn post seems to be about this topic. But hotels on the ground don't seem to be adopting it at the same rate that we're developing it. So what's the problem? Is it the PMS, the integrations? Is it something else going on? So I'm going to start with you, Ira.
Yes.
What does an AI-driven hotel tech stack look like in an ideal world?
In an ideal world. So there's multiple reasons why hoteliers are still behind. And one of them is, believe it or not, awareness. Not everybody understands that it's necessary to automate and innovate your operations, because there's still we have a big portion of hotels that are independent small moms and pops, and I think the amount is underestimated. There is about 1 million of them globally in terms of the global inventory of hotels. So that's one. Number two is there's a lot of noise, and this is one of the reasons why the alliance was born. Everybody now says, almost every single tech vendor says we have AI. Hoteliers are having a hard time understanding what actually works. And number three reason, which is, even if you are done with number 1 and 2 and you actually know what drives operational value and how to implement it, and you're really willing to do that, then comes the big issue, which is the data cleanliness, integration dependencies, and the fact that our ecosystem is very fragmented and chaotic, and it's not always possible to implement technology solutions, not just AI, but technology in general, the way that you want to implement it, to take advantage of it, and to apply it to all the use cases that you're dreaming about. And this has been a big problem in our industry for years and years, and that's why HT&G was born 20-something years ago. We're still here in the same issue, in the same problem. But I think now we have a chance of trying to solve it, not solving it, but trying to solve it with AI itself. So these new technologies might be able to help us, but it's always been about data. It's never really been about anything else. Technology solutions, the only way for them to function, any piece of software tech, is when they have data to work off of. Mm-hmm. This is like gas, fuel for a car. This is all they do. They consume data and they generate data. And this is all they do. It's just data in a different format, right? In and out. If you don't receive data, then you can't function. That's pretty much it. Pretty simple.
100%. I think we'll dive into a little bit about the data in a minute, because I think that's a whole massive topic area that is like the missing puzzle piece, 100%. But also, I think, what we're saying about what is the ideal tech stack on paper and then on the ground. So Hanna, that is a massive vision for the industry to have this integrated AI system. But what are you hearing? Like, how close is that to the industry reality with the conversations that you have?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, the truth is that when we sit with different hotel groups or I talk to different people within the industry, one of the underlying things that kind of comes to light is a lot of these groups don't have like a full vision or data strategy as a baseline, right? So they're not really sure how to organize their data, how they're going to clean their data, how they're going to be able to, once clean, obviously analyze it, right? There's no strategy. And with that comes things like governance. How are we going to keep that data secure? And then you kind of have all these different fragment teams trying to play with AI in different ways, because again, it's this really great term and can be an amazing tool, but nobody's really got it figured out and how to really optimize that to drive what that dream or that ideal situation would be. And so taking a look at like first figuring out your data strategy. And then once you kind of do that, you start to look at your tech stack, right? And you're kind of like, okay, we have all these different legacy systems. How are they going to communicate? How are we going to actually match merge data so that it's actually clean, so that AI can actually do something with it at the end of the day? And you really kind of start to dive into that. And the traditional challenges that made me laugh when Ira said that, HT&G, I worked at HT&G 11 years ago, so before I joined I Reckon You. And back then we were, solving this challenge around trying to integrate different systems more effectively. Like that was a little bit where it came from, or is where it came from. And I feel like that's still a challenge that we're facing today, right? So being able to manage data between different systems in a traditional hotel ecosystem at its baseline. I mean, it feels like when we talk about that and the ecosystems that exist across hotel groups, it feels so far away from what we can do with AI, just because the data is still so fragmented. There's limited APIs. We've got legacy systems that don't communicate well with others. I think, did I answer your question?
Yeah. I think we're definitely unpacking it. I think, so this is what we're hearing on the ground, the reality of the data, the fragmentation. And I know that Ira, you're a very much a visionary, like working in what's going on. What's the next step, right? What's our ideal? Because we need a North Star, otherwise where are we going, right? So I'd love to know what the ideal situation would be. Like if we didn't have limits of data, what are we kind of looking at?
Yeah, that is actually a very easy question, and humanity has been through this before in other industries. Take cell phone market, for example. We used to have a lot of operating systems. We're now down to 2, essentially. We have Android and iOS, right? If you look at your mobile phone, you either have an iPhone or you have something that is based on Android. Think about it from the standpoint of property management systems, right? It's an equivalent of a property management system. In our industry, we have 1,200 of them, right? In the mobile segment, we have 2. So if you're an app builder, you only build to 2 different standards, and that's all you need to do. And now you can even vibe code those things that will automatically comply with the standards. So you build an app and you publish it on an app marketplace. And as the user, all they need to do is just click on the app, install it, and start using it. And now seamlessly integrate it within your tech stack on your phone. We theoretically, and I've written about it many times, and starting from 10 years ago, we should be where the cell phone market is right now, the mobile technology spaces. And this how it should be. There should be a marketplace. There should be a handful of modern PMS solutions that are cloud native, cloud first, AI first, open APIs. And those PMS solutions should have open marketplaces for the end users or hoteliers to choose from, click, install, or not even install because everything is in the cloud. Log in, connect, boom, done. That's really all. Without having to, go to 20 different demos to figure out and sign a contract for something that you're not even going to like 3 months from now, but it's going to be too late to cancel. So full self-service SaaS model, this is what we should be doing. And this is how it should look. We're not there yet, but I think we can be there. And this is what the beautiful future of lack of integration dependencies would look like for our industry. And however the PMS looks in the future, whether it's just a chatbot, which is possible, where you only talk to it using voice, which is definitely possible, or it's in any other form, it doesn't matter. It's all about integrations on the back end. And the users, hoteliers, they don't even have to know what technology solutions to pick and how to play that Tetris game, what CRS, CRM, what RMS you want to connect. You just talk to your chat and it connects everything for you, because this has already been implemented in other areas. And this is the easiest way. But because the connections don't exist right now, because the data is not flowing, that's the main obstacle for this to happen right now. So once we solve the integration dependency data problem, then we can get there, and it's going to be a bright future for the industry.
That's the dream.
That's a broken dream.
That's the dream. But until we get there, we have to find other ways of integrating, connecting, and cleaning data. So, Hanna, back to you. What are you seeing in terms of fragmented data and how we can kind of bring it together?
Well, I feel like there's a lot of systems that have existed for a long time, like Opera, for example. They're modernizing with Opera Cloud and they're working on their APIs, but it's all still kind of a work in progress to get to the state that Ira is talking about. A lot of groups are trying to find other ways to bring together that data, to centralize it and to clean it up so that they can actually try to kind of bridge this gap towards a world where they can apply an AI machine learning algorithm to get some sort of result. But it is a process. And without taking some of these initial steps, like a data strategy, thinking about security, which I think is a bigger fear for a lot of these groups to even go down this avenue, is how is my data held? Is it secure? Governance is so important to the success of any type of AI usage within any industry, right? And because we have these legacy systems, it feels a little bit today like it's patched together a lot of the time to try to get to this.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, little Frankenstein, like plug it together. So I think some of the more modern ways of doing it is really kind of looking at how can we fix that integration layer, right? Try to centralize as much data as we can into one space where we can really clean it up with match merging, and then even share it back to those connected systems where we can. So operationally, it doesn't affect any teams and all of that data is syncing, and it's kind of cleaning up your entire ecosystem, right? So you have clean data a little bit everywhere. Once you have that, the different teams within the hotel space can start to kind of play with, AI in their governance realm in different ways, right? But you have to get that foundation right. Otherwise, it will always be kind of a mess and a little bit dangerous, if I'm honest.
And that layer is something that could become the new PMS of the future, right? Because you don't really need a bunch of windows with different buttons. All you need is an interface between the user and the data. That's really all you need. And if the interface that allows you to get access to all of the behind the scenes parts of your tech ecosystem is going to be the most universal place that the users will connect to. Again, how it looks is a whole different discussion, and it doesn't really matter, right? But that, what we used to call middleware, but it's really now becoming the key part of our ecosystem, because this is something that unites everything and pulls everything in one place for the user to interact with. And you get your dashboards, or you get your answers in the chatbot, or you get your tables and numbers and analysis and emails in the inbox on a weekly basis, depending on what type of user you are, whether you are a front desk manager, or the owner, or the the CFO, whoever you are. You probably need data from different parts of the ecosystem. So that layer, or that piece that unites all of those things, is ultimately the primary part that holds it together like glue, and that should interact with the end user on the hotel side or corporate level, that allows us to answer the questions about our business and how to improve our operations, right? And also, the customer service parts as well. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
That sounds very sleek and user-friendly and just logical. I love it. So we've, going back to our question, which is like, why isn't AI being adopted at scale? Basically, we've got our data cleanliness, we've got fragmented systems, we've got maybe security concerns. I wanted to hone a little bit down onto security concerns because I think that is quite a big issue. The fear,
Yeah.
not just of AI, maybe AI literacy as well, but also the fear of data leaks, because we're dealing with customer data on a massive scale. So does either of you want to comment on that?
Yeah, sure. Or Hannah, do you want to go?
No, you can go. It's good.
Yeah, it's a big concern. I think one of the reasons is we haven't really, because it's pretty chaotic space right now. There's so much going on, and we don't have a framework around the governance right yet. And again, this is one of the reasons why the Alliance, AI Hospitality Alliance, was born, to help shape some kind of recommendations or standards for the industry around governance and data security, data safety, compliance and whatnot. And there's all kinds of different segments of our industry, right? There are hoteliers, there are companies that are pretty advanced and they have their own IT department, but a lot of hotels or hotel companies, they outsource their tech. They don't build in-house. They don't have an IT person. They don't have a CTO. So their best decision is to work with a third-party provider who already kind of know what they're doing, right, in terms of data safety and security. And you have to ask the right question as a customer. You have to ask all the questions that talk to ChatGPT and make sure you know what questions to ask. But you have to ask, like, okay, how are you handling data? What happens if AI gets it wrong? What happens if AI surfaces the data that is not supposed to be exposed? Who's responsible? So make sure you discuss all these things with your provider, with your vendor. Make sure these clauses are part of your contract with the vendor. Again, something that we're planning to also help the industry with, to publish simple contracts that you should consider using in, when signing with the vendor that has some kind of AI functionality, which is 99.9% of all vendors right now. But yes, you have to work with, if you don't build, and even if you build in-house, a lot of times you still also outsource. But all these questions are very important to consider. And you, as a hotelier, you want to protect yourself from issues in the future that are related to that. We normally don't think about it. We think about operational value, but governance, security, and safety, those are very important things that we need to start paying more attention to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is probably a big concern, but one that's not getting as much hype as other things that we've been talking about, like data and integration.
It's not sexy, it's boring. And it's scary too, right? But
yeah, and it's scary because in the past there have been with other platforms, right? It's not just an AI problem. This is any technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
AI is just a little bit messier because it's not as structured as traditional technology, and the hallucinations. There are many different ways to bypass the original kind of instructions, and sometimes, again, some data can be exposed that. Sensitive data, PI data, can be exposed in certain situations. So it's a little bit harder to control than traditional technology. And that's why this makes it an even more important topic to keep in mind. Yeah.
As an industry, we need to have this conversation and be in agreement as to what the guardrails are. So that's brilliant to see that. Yeah. Great. Well, we are going to wrap up now. These are, short sound bites. If you want to talk to Hanna or Ira, you've got access to them on LinkedIn. But before we go, I'd love for both of you to say, if we're speaking to hoteliers and we say, what's one clear step that they can take towards applying AI in their brand, what would it be, Hanna?
I think I mentioned this earlier, but I think the main thing that I would take away is build out your data strategy, right? Really think about, for your brand, your group, exactly what you want to use, and how you want to see your data realized at the end of the day, so you can build out a foundation that makes sense. I think that's a skip step. And when people just go straight to the AI tools, again, it becomes so messy. So yeah, really think about that foundation, and along with it, that data governance that enables you to make it a success at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think this is something you should be able to talk about with your partner / provider, right? It's they're your partners in this, and they should be able to guide you on how do we do that with a data strategy? What should we, maybe what the questions we should be asking about security? So yeah, partners, not providers, as we say. Fantastic.
100%.
It's all about the data. It's always been.
Yeah, definitely. What is that? Is that your line, Ira?
That's my line. I used to say it's all about integrations, which is essentially the same thing. It's integrations are pipes that transfer data. So I realized that about, I don't know, 15 years ago, and it took some effort to understand that PMS is not the only important thing in the tech stack. It's really the data. That it's PMS is just a pretty face on top of your data. That's what it is. I know that Richard Bolter, for example, and Adam will hate me for saying that, but it is what it is. It's a database with a pretty face on top of it. But PMS without any other, it's not enough to just have a PMS anymore. There's so much more that needs to go in and out. And those in and outs are that's what's important. If you don't figure out your in and outs, if you don't clean them properly and you don't organize them and aggregate them, there's not much you can do outside of your PMS.
Yeah, I think when we had the pre-chat for this, you said garbage in, garbage out. So be careful of what you're putting into your AI.
I just say crap in, crap out. That's okay. I'm unfiltered.
Yeah, exactly. So, be careful what we're feeding it, because that's what we'll get.
For sure.
So fantastic. It's been great talking to both of you. And I think this conversation needs to be repeated on other platforms. I know, Ira, you speak a lot, but Hanna, I want to see you elsewhere talking about this project, because this is our future. Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks to everyone listening. Please reach out to Hanna and Ira for more information, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, where did she go? We're still live. Great.
Oh, okay.
I think she just probably left us in the room. Hopefully she'll join. Do you know how to stop this thing?
I have no idea. Great. I think we just leave and
sorry.
We'll
Oh,
we figured.
It's still, how do we turn it